Hey, good morning, love. Good morning. Come on in closer because today it is not about being impressive. Not at all. It is simply about being present because life can be messy and it can also be this beautiful um, moment of love. So here's what we're going to do. First, I want to congratulate you. You are showing up for yourself. You are letting everything else on the outside be what it is, but you are showing up for yourself. And that is devotion. So this morning, I want you to start with putting your hand on your chest and putting one hand on your belly. I want you to let your shoulders drop, kind of like if you're taking off a jacket, just letting them drop. And I want you to repeat to yourself, I am safe to soften. Whew. Because here's what happens after you start witnessing yourself, after you start sitting in these meditations, after you start just noticing yourself, a lot is going to come up and a lot is going to cause you to think, oh my goodness, I need to change this. I need to shift that. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I was thinking those thoughts about me. I used to have a lot of negative darts being thrown at me. Like I would be the one throwing that negative self talk out there. And I started to witness myself seeing this, right? We are going to call the things that pop up when we start witnessing ourselves, we're going to call them strategies. Okay. Not problems. It's just going to be the patterns. Because to be truly honest, this is the way that we learned to stay safe. Now, when I started my practice up, I noticed, like I said, a lot of these things about myself that some things I did love. And there was a little longer list of the ones that I thought, like, wow, this is really you. That's the best way I could put it. And the ones I chose to sit with first were perfectionism, it was micromanaging myself, and it was proving. Oh my goodness, proving, baby, proving myself and just doing it on autopilot. It felt like a tight corset, right? It was a tight corset to my very soul. So, if any of this is resonating with you, I'm going to ask that you subscribe, that you like this video, because we are going down, I guess, my train a little bit of what I noticed first. And I'm going to walk you through some encouraging questions that you can ask yourself in order to just sit with it, right? So the first question I have asked myself was like, which one of these was holding me the tightest? Like, which one felt like I had to be so buttoned up and perfect? Perfectionism, of course, but this proving energy, especially like as an entrepreneur and helping people out, man, the proving energy just came full force. It was just, I noticed it was always there before I could even, sit in what I do. It would rush to the front and say, okay, well, here's my resume and here's all the people that I've helped and here's what they've experienced. Like I found myself wanting to shuck out my resume before I was even allowing myself to soften. And because I don't want to do that with you guys on this live video and on this meditation, we are going to lead with breath work. We are going to lead with something that I have called my nervous system seduction. Like, just makes me feel so much better. It ushers me into the present and it just helps me relax. So I'm not having this high energy, but I can accept myself where I am or meet myself in my present. So, how we do this is we inhale for 4 seconds, we hold at the top of the breath for 4 seconds, and we exhale for 6 seconds. I'm going to do the count where we all can just do the breathing. So, let us begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Return to your normal state of breathing. That feels so good. It feels so gentle. I knew my parts of me were going to show up for this conversation. The part of me that wants to be perfect at this and not show you my flaws that I still carry. The parts of me that still want to prove. So I know the parts of me are going to show up and it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Now, I want to bring you to the part of myself that addressed proving. I addressed proving not like I was displeased with it, and I was. Um, but I didn't want to address it like that. I wanted to take actually the three of these things out with me just on a date. But I started with proving, and I just began to take my journal, and I wrote in my journal for proving, I just want to understand you. I didn't want to make how I was feeling wrong. I didn't want to make it be a struggle or like a kick out session because I've come to understand that the parts of me that run to my aid are just here to make me feel safe, or they're here to protect me from embarrassment or from shame or all the things. And just like I would grab my child by the hand and sit with my child and say, I just want to understand where you're coming from. That is the type of energy I presented to proving, to perfectionism, and to micromanaging. And to share with you a little bit about my conversation with proving, I was explaining, it was presenting this type of energy to where it was like, let me show you all these credentials that I have before you decide that I'm valuable, right? Proving presented the energy that I had to be perfect, even in my business, before I was seen, before I allowed myself to present a product, before I allowed myself to even go live. I had to be this perfect individual. Or let me perform. Let me give you all this free stuff before I'm paid. Because again, I needed to feel like you valued me before I valued me. Towards the end of our conversation, after sitting down, after taking the time to ask, to write down these questions that I will share with you in a minute, I wanted to share with you what I ended up walking away with. And I want you to hear me. At the end of our conversation, Proving had given me a whole new energy that reflected back. And I'm going to read it in my journal just like it was presented to me. You are not an application. You are not a resume. And you are not performance. You are not a performance. How I got to that ending, I went through on this conversation and I asked myself some questions. I asked myself in my journal, in my life, where did I raise my hand like, pick me, out of everybody? Pick me. Where was I trying to be chosen? And then I looked to myself and I was like, where did I have myself in rooms where I can just be received? It mirrored that whole go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated, right? So where could I go in rooms where I would be celebrated? I had another question on here. I asked myself, why do I feel like I have to over explain when I'm making a point? And this came up when I would be working with clients and I would say, hey, here's what you need to do. And I would find myself over explaining why I felt this way and just not letting it land, right? And just walking away. I can identify this or have you resonate with this, and sometimes letting your no be enough. Like, no is a full sentence with a period and sometimes an exclamation mark. I don't have to explain where I've been, why I can't, and all the reasons. And also, I put on there, where can I go and just be me, my fullest self, my fullest expression, and be held in love? And I answered those questions for myself. And I got to some really great places in this conversation because I found out that my proving was rubbing shoulders with my perfectionism, the perfectionism that would be hidden in my A-type personality, right? And when I was excavating, I heard myself telling myself, like, girl, you could be messy because messy is where the real you lives. And I, again, reminded myself about, of course, my kids, how I allow them to play, how I allow them to get it wrong, how I allow them to make mistakes. And that's when I hold them with the most joy because they've never lived life before. And I took all of that love that I have for them. And in these conversations, I wrapped myself in it because instead of judging my perfectionism or, me not wanting to play, I said, you know what, girl? Just like you tell yourself, you can learn a whole lot more from your mistakes than you can ever do from being perfect. So today, I wanted to share these things with you to rewrite this for you as I have rewritten it for myself. And I want to let you know that you can still be safe and be seen. Isn't that beautiful? I can still be powerful and still be soft. They can coexist at the same time. It's a different way to lead, but I have found it to be a more delightful way of leading. So, with that being said, we're going to head into our receiving room where we're just going to meditate in silence for 5 minutes. We are going to take these minutes and just observe our thoughts that are going to come by because we're finally getting quiet. This is such a special part to our practice because we're just going to observe those thoughts without judgment. And in this time, we're just not even going to understand them. We're just going to let them go. Just like cars you witness on a street. And we are going to bring ourselves back with love if we find ourselves jumping on a thought train and riding it to Timbuktu. We're going to notice we're on that thought car and bring ourselves back very gently, very lovingly. I'm going to hold the time for you. So all you have to do is just sit and be held. I have set the timer. Let us begin. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Repeat after me. One hand to your chest, one hand to your belly. I release the need to prove. I am worthy without performing. I am safe to be seen. I let ease love on me. I receive myself fully. I love you guys so big. And I am so excited that you are on your own journey of self-discovery, discovering who you are and discovering your talents and your worth that's on the inside of you, because we need your light in this world. I'm so glad you said yes to doing your own practice. I'm delighted to be able to be a partner in your practice. If this energy that I am bringing to you feels like a soft yes in your body, I want you to stay subscribed to this channel. I want you to stay subscribed to this partnership, because you are inherently beautiful. You are inherently worthy. You are inherently prosperous. You are inherently beautiful. And I'm so glad to be a witness to your growth. So I love you so big. Have the most amazing day. I cannot wait to see you next week. The divine light in me cherishes, honors, and believes in the divine light in you. Namaste.